In an unknown world, within an unknown galaxy, the Unworthy One fights for his life. He once commanded the lightning. His only competitor is the lightning in his ears and the cold hard Uru in his hands. He now spends his days not flying, but fighting, brawling with whoever wants a taste of a once great god of the realm eternal. He once carried his name with pride, but now, he is unworthy of it. He was once known as Thor. But these days, he spends his days fighting and losing as the unworthy Odinson. The Odinson relentlessly carves his way through a horde of beastmen. Today will not be the same as the other days. Today, he will not stop until he at least lays his hands on his prize. 3 months ago, the Odinson caught wind of strange phenomenons on Earth's orbit. Satellites appear to have been eaten. Some are covered with strange fecal matter. There is only one culprit that comes to mind, and the Odinson has tracked them down to the moon. Trolls. The trolls were busy carving out their den, but the presence of the Asgardian god drew out their bloodlust. They engaged the son of Odin with everything they got, but to no avail, until Ulik, the king of the trolls, arrives. Once, the Odinson would have easily beaten these trolls with but a few swings of his hammer, but now, he can't fly. He can't even travel through realms without the help of his goat. But the unworthy Thor gets back on his feet because all he now knows is to drink and fight. The only thing he can see are trolls and more trolls. So the Odinson swings his mighty axe with blind rage, but the trolls have other plans. The trolls got the upper hand, but why waste their efforts on a fallen hero? They will send the Odinson to Valhalla on another day. The trolls escape, leaving the Odinson to wallow in his self-loathing. Alone, he thinks to himself,
"The moon. This place is where it happened. This is where I fell, felled by words I still cannot unhear. There is another."
A man cloaked in darkness approaches. The man informs the Odinson that he is the unseen. He sees all. He saw the new Thor rise as one Thor fell. He saw the universe end. From its ashes rose a single world.
"Like I said, son of Odin, there is another." "Another what?" "Another hammer. The hammer of a dead world, a dead Thor. So strong was its power that it flew through the darkness, all the way to light, all the way to us. Asgard."
Hope returns and the Odinson calls on his mount, Tooth Gnasher. He rips through the heavens to return to old Asgard for a chance to once again wield the power of Uru. Arriving on location, the Odinson is shocked to see his childhood birthplace gone, vanished without a trace. Suddenly the skies rip open and thunder is heard. Once the tremendous shock of lightning diminishes, Beta Ray Bill presents himself. He informs his friend that old Asgard has been taken and they need an army to get it back. Bill also notices the absence of Mjolnir. The rumors are true. The son of Odin has lost his hammer. Bill bends the knee.
"Here, my brother, I beg of you, take mine."
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Comic Island. My name is Joey and thank you so much for checking out our coverage of the Unworthy Thor issue 1. Marvel relaunched the campaign. We are officially over the all-new, all-different Marvel, and I think I'm being pulled back. Don't get me wrong, DC Rebirth has been really interesting, but out of the entire Marvel titles released this week, I saw the Unworthy Thor and I felt gravitated to it, and man was I happy that I chose to cover it. I had no idea what this story was about except for the simple fact that it revolves around the original Thor, now calling himself the Odinson. Then I realized that the writer is Jason Aaron, and I knew that this is going to be worth my time. Jason Aaron is by far my favorite Thor writer. He came up with stories such as The God Butcher, and his run with Thor the God of Thunder is by far my favorite comic book series starring an Avengers character. I also love how Marvel is continuing with Thor's lost arm. For those who don't know, Thor Odinson got his arm completely chopped off by MacLeod. He got a replacement arm made completely out of Uru, and he also has to rely on his flying goat Tooth Gnasher to get around realms. Little attention to details like these are what makes a comic issue great for me, but that can be easily expected by a writer that knows Thor such as Jason Aaron. The mysterious figure cloaked in black with chains is actually Nick Fury Sr. 2014's Original Sin is the first story arc that we covered here on Comic Island, so revisiting an aspect of it brings back a nice sense of nostalgia. The Watcher is dead, and in his place is Nick Fury, the Unseen. I believe Marvel did this to Senior to stop the confusion between Nick Fury Jr. Either way, I think this was a very good move on Marvel's part, but Senior never got much page time until now. So I hope we see more of the Unseen as the story progresses. And then the cherry on top is when they brought back 2015 Secret Wars, in particular, the Thor's tie-in series that we covered here on Comic Island. For those who don't know, at the end of the Thor story arc, the hammer resembling the one from the Ultimate Universe got thrown into space and landed on old Asgard in the current world. We now know that old Asgard is lost, and the Odinson will find it and the other hammer. The tone of the story so far is basically a continuation from Jason Aaron's Thor God of Thunder run, mixed in with all the great other aspects from Thor's continuity, such as his lost arm, loss of Mjolnir, and all of the other pain and suffering he went through since Original Sin. That being said, I'm super glad that I picked this one up, and you can expect that we will be covering the Unworthy Thor. If you are interested, I recommend that you check out our Thor Secret Wars tie-in to understand how the hammer got to old Asgard, and of course I recommend Jason Aaron's God Butcher story arc. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in the Unworthy Thor issue 2.